welcome. So welcome to our first ever edition of Friday 15. As its name suggests, 15 minutes on a Friday to talk about something different and hopefully something interesting. So because we just have 15 minutes, we're going to jump right in because we want to make every second of this valuable to you. So today, let's add this to the stream like this. And we're going to see Jared in a moment. Today, our topic of conversation is AI camera analytics. So we're going to go through this idea of smart cameras. So first of all, very basic, what makes a camera intelligent? What gives it those brains? We're going to talk about those features that do constitute AI and check those out. We're going to talk about the futuristic future, because what is the future if it is not futuristic? And that obviously leads to this discussion that when we talk about AI, which is ethics, because it's triply important. And then finally, we're going to leave off with some recommendations and resources. So with us today, as our special guest, is Jared Miller of Hanwha. And let's remove this like this and say hello to Jared. So Jared is Senior Regional Sales Manager at Hanwha Vision America. And Jared has over 20 years of experience in the security camera industry. He is extremely knowledgeable about all things security and camera related. He lives right here in Pittsburgh in the northern suburbs, and he's been with Hanwha for about 4 years. Welcome, Jared.
Thanks, Dina. Appreciate you having me. You're
welcome. So before we dive in, first, a very existential question for you. What makes Hanwha Vision? Why is it noteworthy?
Well, what we think makes us different than everybody else who does what we do is, first and foremost, we are a true manufacturer. So Hanwha engineers, designs, and produces all of our own product. We have 2 manufacturing sites, one in South Korea and the other in Vietnam. Our Vietnam facility is state-of-the-art. It's staffed 100% by Hanwha employees. We make almost 3 million video surveillance devices a year out of that facility. And the entire plant is powered by Hanwha Q-Cell Solar. So we think it's important because we call it a supply chain of trust. So from start to finish, the machines that make these cameras, the personnel, it's all Hanwha. So we're really able to control the speed of our technology. We're able to adapt to things in the market as we see them. It's really different than the way most other technology companies operate.
Okay, so you assure the quality from beginning to end.
Correct.
From the input of the sun all the way to the final thing. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's start off pretty basic. Okay, Jared, what makes a camera intelligent? What gives it? What's the difference between AI versus not AI?
So traditionally, video surveillance cameras have used pixel-based detection. And what that means in layman's terms is something that changes on the scene. The camera doesn't know whether it's actually a person or an object, or it could be a reflection or a shadow or debris or headlights. Traditionally, you were sort of stuck trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Right.
We want to know if somebody comes to our front door. So we say, okay, the camera will do motion detection. But in reality, anything that the camera sees as a change would trigger that alert.
So basically, right, so just a series of dots, just like when I'm seeing you here, dots that make up Jared. Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The technology has moved in the direction of being able to detect a human or a vehicle. So basically what that means is the analytics that are embedded in the camera are going to have a more intelligent way of alerting an operator or the end user, whoever owns the system, that yes, this is an actual event. This is a person. The camera is looking for, is there a face, which is what would determine that it is a person, or the shape of a vehicle. And, as we continue down the AI rabbit hole, the amount of details and attributes you can pull from the video are going to become more and more impressive over the years.
Right. And I would say in my reading and research for this program, one of the things that we've also discussed is the affordability of cameras now, because you'd think that adding AI will make it more expensive, but it's actually become more affordable. So why is that?
Well, I think like anything else with technology, once you perfect the process, it's easily mass produced. So we're now able to put our AI in some of our lower tier cameras. So you can literally get an AI camera for $300 today, whereas years ago it would be significantly more expensive. And obviously, the more bells and whistles, just like if you were purchasing a vehicle, the more toys you want in the camera, the price tag goes up. So, we do have low end, we have high end, and we have sort of everything in between.
Cool. And I'm going to pop this up here because I like to give some resources. So if you do want to know more about how cameras have changed and if you want to nerd out about cameras and understand the technology changes that have contributed to this technology, check out this QR code. Good article from Sia, and we'll go from there. So we're going to move on now to our next installment here, which is show us the AI. So tell us what these cameras can do, and we do have a little demo here we can pull up for you.
So depending on the model, we have sort of two flavors of what we consider to be AI. The first would be the object detection that I was talking about before. So is there a human or vehicle present in the scene? And then we have sort of a more deep AI that does attribute extraction. So what that means is it would be searchable within the video, the metadata that exists. And as of today, it's color of top, color of bottom, male or female, glasses, backpack, is the person wearing a hat. On the vehicle side, we can do make, model, color. So all of that information feeds into your video management platform and then becomes searchable. So the end user has a more succinct view of their video, and what used to take hours and hours of searching can now be done in minutes.
Okay, let's check it out, okay?
Okay.
Tell us what we're seeing.
So this would be one of our higher end AI cameras, and this is a parking lot. So you can see the vehicles get tagged, and you can see along the right-hand side there, you basically have images, still images. So if you knew you were looking for a black BMW, you would be able to search black car. You get a preview of all the black cars, and then you'd be able to go right to the clip. This used to take hours and hours, especially if there was an event that would happen, say, over the weekend where nobody's in the facility. You show up Monday morning, you don't know where to start. Well, you start with the video Friday at 5 o'clock, and you go all the way till Monday at 8 when somebody.
Right. and it's only Monday morning.
Correct. So now you can say, okay, I'm looking for a car. I'm looking for a car in this area. And in a matter of minutes, you're going to get all the information that used to take hours to ascertain.
Amazing. But it sounds like right now the AI that are in cameras are more about diagnostics, like after the event, evidence management. Do we have AI yet that does foreshadowing or predictions?
I don't think across the industry it's there yet. I know that there are a lot of third-party software companies who do things like facial recognition, who would do things like, or are trying to do things like predictive analytics.
Right.
I don't think it's quite there yet. It is mostly reactive. All that to say, though, you can still create, like a blacklist in your VMS that says if this license plate shows up, we want an alert. Somebody,
right.
An email, a text message, a pop up on the screen. So there is a little bit of sort of non-reactive AI happening now. I think over time we'll see that the sort of predictive analytics are going to become more and more popular.
Cool. Which brings us to our next topic, the futuristic future. Blow us away. What can we expect in 3 to 5 years, maybe 10 years?
Well, I think that the industry is looking to perfect skeletal extraction, which would give you a sort of a whole nother layer of potentially predictive analytics, as it could be seen as two people are in an offensive posture. It looks like a fight may happen, so we're able to align resources to break that up. But along the same lines, as technology increases, things like somebody sleeping in a vestibule of an ATM because they're supposed to be this way and they're this way.
So But I think a skeletal extraction. So you have a skeleton of a person, and then you can, as the machine learns and you get this big data, you can try to detect real nuances and possibly predict certain behaviors. I mean, so lying down at a bus shelter, that's probably pretty obvious, but foreshadow a fight. I mean, that's, I use my hands a lot. You kind of wonder where that's going and how many false alerts that would entail.
I think if you tried to do it as of today, it would be a whole lot of false alerts. But, as the machine learning gets better, as the algorithms improve, I think in 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a whole lot more in that arena.
Right. And then I was trying to think of certain applications for that. So, like you said, to stop a fight happening. So stadiums, public venues, maybe
Schools.
even schools, right? Exactly, schools. You can properly actually look at body language and see when something is becoming aggressive. And if the camera can seize it, it's probably pretty predictable.
Yeah,
scary.
I think it will be, we worry about how much or how far down this rabbit hole things go. Everybody's seen the movie Minority Report.
Yeah.
I don't see it going that way. I just think it's going to make your ability to respond to a threat or an incident a lot more efficient.
Okay, so which obviously brings us to the ethical discussion. So say right now, what degree of accuracy does Hanwha Vision do before they release a new AI feature?
I'm not privy to that data specifically, but I can answer that our AI is about 93% effective. So it's not going to be perfect.
Right.
As you can imagine, there's a lot of ways that the camera can be confused. If a woman has her hair tucked up and is wearing a hat, it may identify that as a man.
Right.
Sometimes if the lighting is weird, it may say that I have a black shirt instead of a blue shirt. So it's never really going to be 100%, but more than 9 out of 10 is pretty good in my book.
Yeah, that is true. I'm also going to pull up here if anybody wants to know more about what Hanwha Vision is doing ahead. Different perspective. I like the play on words there. The cameras of the future. So go ahead, scan this QR code and discover some more. And our final segment here is going to be about recommendations of resources, because as things become more complex and you do have this AI component, security operators will need different training to understand what the alerts mean.
That's correct. I think that, if you have an enterprise that you're protecting, you should really be working with a professional who has experience, potentially has accreditations through the American Society of Industrial Security. You really need to look at security as a whole. You can't just say, okay, we put up cameras, now our business is safe. You really need processes, procedures, policies. We're going to give you the information. What are you going to do with it? Right.
So more integrated teams, security, IT, possibly HR, all involved.
Correct. I mean, we know that every business is different, but as many facets of the business that you can pull into your security planning, the better and more effective your plan is going to be.
Yep. So can you give us, where should we go to learn more? If IT directors watching this, or security, someone operating security, where can they learn more about things?
I would certainly recommend going to our website, www.hanwhavisionamerica.com, as well as checking out asisonline.com for As Is, which
Boom. There you go.
Major trade association in our business. And they have a whole lot of free resources, accreditations, certifications, really helps you understand everything.
Wonderful. All right. So Jared, thank you so much. We are pushing our 15-minute mark. And as promised, we want to keep this to Friday 15. That's our new brand. So thank you and have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Dina. You too.
Hope to have you back here on the program soon.
I would love to.